leaders and activists. Okay, guys, so these are live pictures now. There you see the president at the migrant detention center, meeting with the folks there. And of course, the big question here is how realistic is this visit? I mean, is this the way the center looks on an everyday basis? Does it look that neat and tidy? Is everybody in a suit? And is the president getting a real experience? Charlie, what do you think when you look at these pictures?
No, I think clearly he is not. This has been, they've gone to great lengths to clean up the mess before he gets there, but it's not just to make, just to make it look good for him. It's also designed because he just wants a photo op so that he can go there and claim it's not as bad as everybody says it is. But I think it's really important to remember the entire catastrophe that's going on is 100% that man's fault. President Trump, for all of whatever you want to say about him, he fixed the immediate problem at the border. This man, because of political stupidity and hatred, undid all of those things and created the humanitarian crisis at the border. But not only did he create the current mess, but for those of us who make the argument that, well, this is also a problem that's been going on for 40 years or 50 years. Well, that's one of the few people who can be blamed both for the immediate thing and the 50-year failure of Washington to address the problem.
Embodies it.
Yeah, and so we see him continuing to meet with these people from the migrant detention centers. We know he's going to meet with the Democratic congressional delegation there. He's not going to meet...
Who are pleading with him, by the way.
He's not going to meet with the lone Republican representing a district there on the border. And also, we don't really know if he's going to meet with Border Patrol members. Some of the men and women who are on the front lines there dealing with this every day. Guy, don't you think if they want a good photo op, wouldn't that be a good photo op?
Well, we did see the images earlier of him at the wall. And walls are successful. There just aren't enough of them down there. And he was surrounded by a number of agents. And I'm hopeful that these were not cherry-picked, hand-selected agents to go and smile and shake and say, like, oh, welcome, Mr. President. I think because we've heard about this in the past, for example, Secretary Mayorkas, when he's gone down there, he has gotten an earful from the rank and file. I'm not saying anyone should be disrespectful to a president of the United States, but I think President Biden would perhaps have an opportunity to learn something if he got a realistic reality check, something of an earful from some of these people, and I hope he does. I hope this is not stage managed too much.
As during the campaign, he went to a factory, and a factory worker confronted him, and there was like a fight. And you saw the Biden that gets mad and starts swearing and calling names. And then at that one town hall, a man stood up and confronted him, contradicted him. I think it was in a respectful way. And then he began to insult that man. It's not just because it's not a good photo op in some ways, but you don't know what Joe Biden will do when, in fact, confronted in that manner. So I think everything is cherry-picked. I'll remind people that we look at this on a day-to-day basis when it comes to the impact on the country. But we benefited from the Trump wall and the Trump economy as COVID began. Because imagine if we had an announcement of a new, different pandemic. The southern border is like a failed nation.